People are not happy to see each other, you notice. People are not happy to receive a present. When life is good, you feel frequent big emotions, but you don't see that in life very much. It's like you're lucky if you're just. Most people go around a little sad, if anything. Life is a sad and frustrating thing, and that's if you're lucky. And but you rarely just feel numb. You're lucky if you can feel nothing, and then, well, there are fun things. You have some fun, but it's not like when you receive a present, you pretend like, oh yeah, because you know it's not that exciting. It's not, you know that people would want to see some happiness, some excitement, but of course it's not real because no one's that happy. No one's happy to see you. No one's happy. Everyone's just, yeah, all right, just, well, it's okay. Things are just to maintain the damage limitations, just to prevent things from getting worse. But no one's really glad to be here. That's a tragic thing. Notice that we live in these little boxes. This lives here in New York City. It's as if everyone here lives in a hotel. Hotels are these structures that are made for travelers. You come, they're temporary living. They're not a lot is they're not made for long-term living. They're not comfortable. It's not a place you'd want to live for a long period of time because you don't need to. You're just here to be in the city for a little while, and you move back to your home where you feel comfortable for a long period. But in New York City, everyone lives like that. Apartments are really hotels for people in the city, just to move around. You would think that, oh, well, I'm going to live near this, or I'm going to live in this neighborhood, have a different experience. But I don't know how many people are doing that. I don't. Most people get an apartment. You're lucky if you can stay in it. You move only if you have to. And you have all this stuff because you know you're not going anywhere unless you're forced to move out. And yet everyone lives in a resentment that I don't want to be here. I don't want to. You notice that people live in these large things together. I've been over 30 years here. And even though you talk to people occasionally if you live on the same floor, but it's all the garbage stuff, the manners, the politeness everyone's forced to say that since you were born, people force you to say, oh, hi, how are you? How are you? Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All fake. It's all fake nonsense. Thank you, please. All that stuff is just you're forced to say that for the moment you're born, or else what kind of person are you? Why aren't you polite? You need to be taught some manners. Why wouldn't you want to? It's just so irritating. All of that is like religion, politeness, manners, appropriateness, stuff parents, authority figures force onto you. Parents always want to be abusive and then demand love in return. It's always angered me how someone could be so evil and get that amount of good treatment in return forever. That it is the nature of people that if someone has power over you a lot for a long time, since the very beginning of your life, abducts you, like takes you without your permission, treats you badly for a good portion of your life, they you're gonna give up all you can't feel anything that bad toward them because they will hurt you. They can hurt you, so it's like you're forced to be nice to them and give a good emotional reaction to them so that they won't you won't upset them. But really, it's not real. This love you see between parents and children, that's not real love. Between authority and people, between victim and perpetrator, that's not love. It's terror. There's nothing I can do about it. You're just stuck like that. And that's what all this politeness is about. People say, oh, but really, you never really make friends with people in the same building. It's very unusual. And there was a kid named Kevin who lived in this building. I met him in the park. But had I, and then when he found out we lived in the same building, oh wow, oh, great, let's go to each other's homes, that'd be cool. And then he came over every day for 8 years. But but if I had gone up to his door and said, oh, I'm in the building, I live in the building, do you want to play tag or something, then the answer would have been, no, no, I don't want to do that, absolutely not, go away, bye. Like that. That is, it's as if people don't want to get to know you, don't want to have any good interaction, because they feel like they don't want to live here. Because why am I getting to know you? I'm not staying here. It's as if people live in this very temporary, like temporary housing has become emergency housing. People just live here because they have to. Nobody wants to be here. It's that I don't want to. Again, it's as if it has to do with that loss idea, where, like in The Day the Earth Stood Still, where Klaatu was reading that guy's mind through the polygraph machine, and he says, "I'm leaving you now," and the other guy's like, "No." It kind of suggests that he was dependent on him psychologically in some way. And that's a lot of how people treat you. They treat you like you're inferior to them, and that because you don't have the same, that girls have some inherent good in them, that they're whole and they have all the good stuff in them, but boys don't, and they have to do something extra in order to be good enough for them. And it's a lifetime of, am I good enough yet? Am I good enough now? Am I good enough now? That makes me really angry. And no, you have to learn more, do this, do that, you have to improve yourself, or else you're not good enough. And I really hate that. And there, this girls get judged for looks, and there are people that I ostracize and don't value the way that they deserve to be. But the same thing is being done to me. I don't like it. And it is harder for a male when it comes to reproduction. A male has it harder, and they treat you like you are, like you don't have as much good in you. So by allowing you to do anything that gives you something good, you're destroying. Like you're not giving what the other person gives them a good experience in life. You're destroying their life by being their mate. Only a person can do that has the natural presence to give a person comfort and energy and strength, and but you destroy things by existing. So and and that idea that, like how it is with the predatory people, that with, let's say, white Christians, for instance, they abuse people so long that they come to hate the victim, and they become, it evokes this anger that you're persecuting someone. It's natural to feel like there's something coming back at you, even though we're all cowards, we're not going to do anything. But they still expect like some kind of retaliation. So they naturally, when they know they've been hurting people for so long or upsetting people for so long, they're like scared. Oh, it's you. And sometimes you see that when it's a foreign, when they say they see it's a person from another country, it's a foreign, not an American brown person, it comes down. There's a bit of relief. Oh, thank heavens. I thought you were one of the brown people that I had been victimizing for hundreds of years. Like that, that's what it is with these people. That's the nature, that's Homo sapiens. It's a dark, evil, cruel thing. And they treat you like you have to give something more, you have to do something more so that you're good enough, that you are a parasitic thing, that you get something good from them, and you're not, you have to find a way to give something back, because you don't do that on your own. And that's balderdash. I'm not some kind of bad thing. I'm not bad. in a way that I have to pay you restitution for being your boyfriend, for not being good enough for you. Like, even if you do have a bad time because you think you're better than me, well, I don't have to pay you for that. That's annoying that anyone would ask me to pay for that. Uh, that my nature doesn't give you enough for me to, first of all, for me to be allowed to have the kind of girl that I want, and then to not want vengeance on me as if being inadequate has destroyed you or caused some kind of damage by not being able to satisfy or bring comfort to other people. I've robbed you of some great thing. And Klaatu from it is that something is helping you, that nature has given you something that you have to want to get something. You have to you have to play to lose sort of situation, where with white people, for instance, white Christians, they've put so much effort into oppressing people. If they ever lost, then what can I do? I'm not that. So they to be an oppressor like that requires that you consistently, when you consistently do evil things to people, it makes your strength dependent upon doing that. You take the risk of losing. Once you try to do something, once you're doing all these evil things, you're risking that you won't succeed, and that then you'll feel bad that you're not good enough to do it. And when that guy from The Day the Earth Stood Still, the remake, when Klaatu was no longer reading his mind, it's as if you had forced him to play. You had forced his mind to try to do something, which then automatically puts him at this risk that if it doesn't work, now you've all of your greatest power was not good enough, and you have to feel that way. So that man was left emotionally wrecked after he left. I wonder what he's doing now. Probably abusing some person with more melanin in his skin, trying to reclaim some sense of power. He wasn't. He gave everything he had to do whatever Klaatu was having him do mentally, and it didn't work. Then it didn't work. So that's why the oppressors don't want to let go of their victims, because they've already shown that they're trying. Like, they can't say I wasn't trying. You have to wait till I'm not trying and then I'll stop. No, it's important that they try and fail and get demoralized so that we can have our strength and our justice. Our strength now depends on their strength being taken away. When it comes to people doing bad things, it's the power to succeed is always at stake. Once you have been doing something, you've been trying to mentally do it. That's why the evil person always wants to tell you, I'll stop abusing you if you do this, rather than I don't care, because then it forces you mentally to be interested, to want to do it, to want to try it. Once they do that, now you feel bad because you don't have it. Because if they just said, I'll never do it, well, then yeah, I want to be treated well, but he won't stop. But if once they artificially create some way that you could do it, they tell you that there's a way, they'll allow it. I mean, they're clearly not going to stop. No one who is going to treat you well would abuse you and then tell you have to earn not being abused. But it's enough to force that interest to try, and therefore makes you feel bad when you don't get it. And that's part of what it is when you've been rejected, that you wish you could be something else and shed who you are. You hate who you are because this thing, automatically, my body has put my powers to succeed into being liked, and it didn't work. You rejected me. But you're doing this maliciously. That's really frustrating. I guess they're superior, so they see that if I don't have what it takes for them to succeed. So they will have tried to do something and lost because I couldn't do. If they had to be with me, if they had to be my mate, then they wouldn't have gotten what they wanted, and they wouldn't have the power to succeed. Two, that may be a part of meaning, that we feel that there's something in us that wants some sort of beauty out of the world, that wants nature to organize itself in some way that will do anything. Like, nothing is too good to be true. Anything is possible. That we want that. And we've already wanted to get that, and to therefore be met with the meaninglessness of real life, that meaning is an artificial idea, then we lose. We have loss. And Aphrodite is the mother of loss, Phobos and Deimos, gods of fear and terror, and both gods of loss. And we feel lost because we wanted that. We mentally wanted to get that, and then we didn't do it. So now we have to, had we not tried to get that, said, well, we can't do that, let's not do that. We can't do that. Yeah, I'd like that, but I can't do that. But we said, no, I want to try to do that, and then to fail. Now my powers to do things well don't work, and I have to feel bad. So we want life to be the only way to feel that we have the good stuff in us to do what we want, is that life would have to arrange itself naturally in a way that is very unnatural, to support us in a way that we know that it really doesn't. And a lot of what this, I think Spock at the end of Amok Time, which might have been the first episode of the second season of Star Trek, was at the end, I think he said, you will find that having is often more pleasant. No, wanting is more pleasant than having. Talking about a girl, that you're pursuing a girl. You want her, you have her, it's not going to be as good. And I think that with meaning, it's a similar thing, that we want it because it's a degree of support from nature we know we cannot have. Psychomagnesia, that nature can do anything for us, that it can do anything. But in real life, we are existentially unrelatable. Nature causes us to exist, but it does so in a way that cannot consistently make life do the things that give us what we want, that are like us, that in a way we want things that are close enough to our form that almost continue us or build upon us or add something to us, but it has to be similar to us. Nature has to do a lot of things that are very particular to us, and it can't do that. So we're going to go without a lot of things. We are existentially unrelatable. Most things in reality don't go with us physically. There's food, there's proteins, that goes with us, but not even necessarily a lot of that. And psychically, there's just other people and other animals that can give us some things, but even then, it's not enough. We want meaning. We want a degree of order that just does not exist. And if we got that, we would quickly quickly want more. It's this hedonic wheel. Now we need more and more performance from nature to be specifically what it is that matches our wants, which come from a type of mind that operates in a way that's very different from nature. Thought is a very unnatural thing. We think it's as if our very consciousness is unrealistic in the way it operates. It does not match reality in a lot of ways. So our wants are often unattainable. So when we want to go do something, we end up losing and feeling that we are powerless because we're always wanting to do things that are unrealistic. Because the nature of our minds are unrealistic, so the things we end up thinking about and wanting are unrealistic, are not like reality. Because reality is meaningless. Meaning is something from a mind. If you are trying to, we live in these apartments. If you are trying to try to tell everyone in the building, let's close the front and back doors of the building, close off the building. Everyone open their apartment doors. We'll put a door stone for each apartment door, and we all play hide and seek, and everyone's apartment is fair game. That will never happen. No one will ever do that. No one is that interested in people. Um, like the idea of prom, that the government creates romantic the situations for people, puts boys and girls in like romantic, non-platonic. They don't necessarily kiss or have sex with each other, but the government pairs them up, male and female, and wants them to, it's a strange amount of involvement where like people, I guess when you feel powerless in a place, you don't have very much interest in anything. You don't have, I guess it's again that sense of loss that if I try to do something, it's not going to work because no one here supports it. No one here will, it will fail, and then I'm going to feel bad. It's not a very supportive environment for, there's a lot of civilians, no citizens, because this place is very authoritarian and strict and oppressive, and when you do that, you have like people just don't care because they know no one cares. No one's gonna be interested. Prom is a strange thing because it suggests that the schools, which are run by the people here, it's paid for by the people here, have some interest in you and your personal, in your, how you, like getting a girl. That's something that makes you feel like these people have an interest in you, that maybe they'll give you power, that this is empowering. Or what makes me think of that. Like, what if you went to school with people who lived in the same apartment building as you, or in the same, there are probably places like this, or in the same neighborhood, and every day you went to a playground with all those kids, and then you went to the same building with all these kids, or at least in the same neighborhood or whatever. You could kind of spend all the time around a group of people. You go to the store, you see the people in the store. You go to school, there are the same kids in the school. Then you go to recess, and then you go to work. I don't, maybe you'll be separated then, I don't know, or be at least in similar places, meet after work. um what if, like, if the governor came to talk to children, the president's fitness exam, that's another kind of strange government involvement where it seems like this, the government wants soldiers, but it seems more like the people there are interested in it. Makes you feel like, I guess there's kind of there's a feeling that you are not, there's a natural feeling that does not exist between you and other people that bothers you. And when the government starts being interested in getting you a girl, or making sure you're strong because they want you to fight in the army, it makes you feel that they would even want you. You notice that there's no draft the same way. Before, you could just, in any country, if there was someone that the government wanted to harm, every able-bodied male, you are a soldier. Everyone had a gun. Everyone owned a gun. Everyone is a soldier. Everyone. What if there was a military class in school, that from the moment you go to like early school, you go to, you hold a gun, you have some familiarity with, I feel like maybe that's what the movies are. They're kind of just to expose you to some amount of warfare, some amount of combat. But even though, of course, war is bad, it's painful and scary, it gives this impression that we are natural, that there is some natural, that you are in a natural state with me, that we are not unnaturally living together, because that's what it feels, very unnatural. It feels like something is uncomfortable, that you don't feel able to ask me to fight to the death for you, or that you're not interested if I have a girlfriend or not. It's like all these things show a sort of indifference toward me, or I don't know. It's as if people behave in this natural way that I'm curious about. And it's like a bunch of people here afraid to get kicked out, so they just do what they have to do. They mail in their work. Everyone just does whatever on their own, and then maybe you meet a person here, you meet a person there, and those are the people you live around and exist around. Everyone else is just there. I suppose groups are so big now, it's impossible to know everybody. But what if it just. What if instead of how it is here, you had a group of people who wanted to be here, who like intentionally wanted to build New York and wanted to do all these things together and felt like accomplished, felt some sense of value in their environment and the people around them. Like, we did this, or, I had something to do with this. And so it makes you motivated to learn and keep building it, and to help, which includes victimizing other people. It's part of how you can get other people to hurt other people because they value this group and its accomplishments. It's part of what gets you to, when the army is uniform and is all blonde-haired, blue-eyed white men in the same uniform and the same, and when you look at the Marine Corps, how they train them, it's very much about uniformity. Everyone shaved the same way, no one's called by name, everyone has the same name, everyone is a recruit. What if you did that in life? What if you did that everywhere? You're a student, you're whatever, everyone has the same thing, everyone is the same, this recruit, this student, that student. What if the point being to say that you are the same in some way that is very important, not just that you're both beings with two legs and a brain, but that there's some special sort of natural effect that you're trying to evoke by making everyone the same like that. And it makes people value, it's part of what makes people value the group that they're in and value what they can, value power, value having power in that group, value contributing to that group. Because when you're the same as everyone, it makes you feel like everyone is in a natural state where it's not, almost as if everyone else is not in control of it. Everyone can feel like when everyone wants the same thing, it's a lot safer to get the things that you want. But what if you lived in a place where everyone was a citizen from the day you were born? You were in school, you were shown guns, you were shown to the power plant, you were shown, you're going here, you're going, and everyone, children were always interested. There's no kind of disinterest, and children are like, yeah, oh, interesting, oh, power lines, oh, construction, hospitals, banks, things like that. People in schools would often have trips there, cable companies, electric companies, sewers, tunnels, um, reservoirs. Like, they want to know where all their stuff comes from. The mines, go into the mines and see who does what, and then all right, class, now if we were now to run the city, people would have to do different jobs. So let's say each one of you could do one of these jobs on your own. Who's going to do what? How would you negotiate that? Who, like, would you be the coal miner? Would you be the doctor? Who's willing to do that? Some take certain types of skills that others don't. Uh, how would you decide that among yourselves? When you're among a bunch of people who want to do this, who don't feel like they're forced to do this to survive, you have to do something because, or else. But you have a group of people that, imagine if it was the nature of everyone, like, we want to do this because we're all the same. Because we're all the same person, it motivates people to want to do things together. Like, they've made something that if everyone is different, then we're a group of people working on something. But if everyone's the same, now we become Voltron, and we are this together. We are Captain Planet. I don't know. It's like, that's what it seems like. Like, the whole point is that if, what on earth is that? I think I just did it. I've activated it. The power of being the same has done something to this device. Uh, but what was I saying? That when everyone is the same, I'm thinking that maybe people feel more like building and doing things, like the power that you wield by what you can accomplish as a group just is better. It just feels better and it motivates them to do more. Maybe that's an idea I have, and I wonder if it's true. And that just imagine if there was a society like that where everyone looked the same and was the same, and because of that they all wanted to build this place. And if the society was missing doctors or missing places to live, oh, I'll be the construction worker. Okay, then I'll do this and I'll build the schools to teach. We need teachers, we need trades. Who has the skills to then teach, and we need to do all these things. And like, how would we organize that? Who's going to finance it? Who's going to transport? Who's going to, like, how would you allocate all of this labor? And I feel like doing that with people here would be harder because it's like people are not that interested. People don't care because it's like